Good afternoon and welcome to SM Live. I'm Chris Stott, SalesMaster MD. It's great to have you with us again. I know we've had a busy few weeks over these sessions. This is our third live stream. So today we're going to show you how to get the most out of StockBook reporting, building on from last week's show. So we'll discuss some of the key features that you can use, how to achieve it, and we're going to be demonstrating these live today on the show. So joining me as always is Howard. So Howard Cox is not actually streaming, Howard. So I just saw that. So if you go on air, and then I can see you. So obviously with the lockdown recording, we are actually streaming separately, obviously. So I've got you now. I can bring you in. here's Howard. Howard's our head of sales.
Afternoon.
So can you tell us what we're going to be showing today?
Yeah, absolutely. Afternoon, everyone. So we're going to do a little bit more on the grouping. So reporting wise from on top of the grouping, and then we're also going to be showing you a very new feature of a slightly more visual way of grouping that stock as well. So yeah, exciting opportunity to show everyone today.
Brilliant. So that's Xray. For any of us heard us talk about that before, I know we've shown a few of our customers Xray reporting previously, and it's just another way of presenting that data and drilling down, triggering off searches to get down to that. And then I think we'll also go over some more on the hashtags for tagging. Is that part of today?
Yeah, I think what we'll do once we go into the grouping and show everyone that new feature, we can then put some tagging on top of it. Had a question from one of our friendly dealers this week on tagging, so I said rather than me showing you now, watch the video.
Yeah, brilliant. And that was it's quite good for you. And thanks as always for those of you that have tuned in live. It's brilliant to have kind of the interaction, but obviously I know a few of you watch it back afterwards. The videos are all on YouTube. I understand again from your feedback, Howard, the slot last week was perhaps not the optimum slot for doing this. So.
No, yeah. Again, one of our partners kindly shared the fact that it was month end last Friday. So yeah.
Hopefully, hope the month closed out well for you. But we tried moving the time back a little bit today, so that's why we've got this 4 o'clock slot. So as we said before, we're just going to adjust these accordingly to find when it's most convenient. So please let us know, give us a shout, and you can do the chat for that. So as before, we've got Annette moderating on the chat on YouTube. So if you want to send just comment on the chat, we'll get that through into the live video, and that's quite good for us to then take a question from you and show you a specific feature. And if you are watching this after the event, then just put a comment on the YouTube video there rather than the chat, and we'll be able to use that for next time. I think January was a very busy month out there, despite obviously operating in a very different way for everyone. I'd say leaning on the click and collect and deliveries, etc. But in terms of searches, we had a huge number. I don't know if you heard this, but Steve and the product guys, Howard, did you hear the number? I have a guess how many searches were done on the platform for vehicles in January. Put you on this. Yeah, well, I thought the same, but it was no. We've got it's 1.1 million searches were done on the platform in January, so okay. It comes out 37,000 a day or something. So yeah, big use of vehicle searches. So yeah, that was interesting anyway. So and with more of those things, if you we'd like you to subscribe to our channel. So if you haven't, please can you subscribe, just so that we can build this user base, because obviously the content that we get from you will help go into what we show on YouTube. So okay, so Howard, if you want to key up your screen sharing, I think we can probably move into that now and have a look at the first feature. Yeah,
hopefully that's come across okay for everyone.
Yeah, we've got that. I think we had some audio issues but Annette, can we hear Howard now? It looks like you should be able to, so just wanted to check that. If you can send us a message, that'd be cool.
I'm
Yes.
not in silence.
No.
Yes, perfect. Oh, that's good. I don't want to get told off for being too loud again. So that's normally not a net though. Okay, so yeah, straight into the demo environment that we tend to use for doing these new features and obviously showing and demonstrating on these video calls. So yeah, a really useful one to play around with and use. So I'm just going to open up the search again. So very similar to where we normally are. So just over sort of 20,500 vehicles available in the list. Obviously, I'm due to my access on the system on this environment, I can see the sold vehicles. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to minus them out. So I'm just going to do a minus before I do the token, and that can be done on, as we've shown previously, that can be done on any attribute or any option or any color. You can just do a minus before you do the token. So I'm just looking at available vehicles now in this environment, so just under 14,000, and I'm going to go straight into Search Builder. So I'm going to go straight away to look for the grouping. So if I open up Search Builder, you can see here I've got my group results, like so, with various different headers that we can choose to group with. So putting it into like a pivot table of data. As I say, I've shown this on previous videos, but just so as a starting point. So the first thing I'm going to do is just group that by brand, and then apply that as a filter. And you'll see that will just take all that data, so all the available vehicles that we had in the environment, into giving me total count numbers on top of that data. So yeah, lots of different brands that we have in here. Obviously, we represent a large proportion of all brands, so this is just a selection of them.
We've actually had a question come in on the grouping, actually. So, question from Jamie, where we're just trying to say what attributes can I group on. So, in that list, if you just go back to the list, there's quite a lot that we could choose from.
Yeah, so if you're sharing, you might be sharing stock from various different systems. So you might want to see the account, so you can group by the account, and then various other attributes within that as well. And these are configurable as well, so we can add more to this section. But these are really the key ones that are used within the businesses. So grouping by site is obviously quite a big one, especially when you're looking for certain information, days in stock over a certain period. You'd want to group and show it as a total count in a pivot table. But yeah, model name, there's some really key attributes on there. So really good question there from Jamie. But yeah, you can group on all of these different headers. So yeah, they're available.
That's good. Thank you.
Okay, so yeah, I can bring in a couple of headers. I think we've looked at some of this before, where we could go into column chooser and we can choose some headers to move around. So at the minute, it's just grouping on top of just giving me a total and a total percentage of that full 13,000 vehicles, or nearly 14,000 vehicles, an account. But again, we've got the days in stock, so we can bring in the range. So 0 to 89, and all sorts of variations that we've created recently. So I can bring in show me all the vehicles 90 to 79, 179, sorry, 180, and so on and so forth. So we can have lots of different array of that. Let me just close that down so everyone can see that a bit better.
So again, back to Jamie. So thanks again for joining in. We've said Jamie said it's so cool that you can customize the headings under grouping. So that's I think for those of you that haven't seen column chooser in detail, that we're able to replicate that effect on any view, whether it's the list view or the grouped view. So it's good to be able to kind of customize that and then save those layouts to suit your role. So.
Of course, yeah. Thank you, Jamie, again. If that was my view that I wanted to be able to recall on a regular basis, of course I'd look to immediately go to the save views and create that as my view. So grouping on top of brand, like so, and then I can simply save that and pin it a tab or create a schedule email that comes out to me on a regular basis. So whatever format I wanted to do that on, but as I mentioned before, these are fully dynamic. So as more vehicles drop in, they'll fall into that, and as the vehicles move across their days in stock, as they get a bit older, they'll fall into the next category as they move over. So yeah, really good.
Brilliant. So if we just if we cut off back to your main camera, Howard, just for a sec. So come off the screen sharing. I think when you put grouping in for a customer, how is it used in the business to really benefit them? Do they have like I suppose with the save views that we demonstrated previously, you're able to customize that to almost create dashboards of different things that you want to monitor?
Yeah, absolutely. And we can show you this again in a second, but you do it on the various days. So you create the headers that you want displayed in your view. Of course, you can share them across your teams as well. Straightforward to do within the system on the save views. But you can also drill into that data. So once you've had them in the groups, if you just wanted to look at a specific brand, you can just click straight into it, and it will show you the list. And I get
the impression that you've configured a fair few of these group by views.
Yes. We I think we mentioned it before, but we tend to when somebody goes live on SalesMaster, we tend to support the users in creating their first group of views as such, and what their role is within the business, so what they would want to see on a regular basis.
I think that's been something that as SalesMaster's evolved in the business, we've had to there's different roles, especially over the last 12 months, certainly with the shift to omnichannel and digital, and those different roles in the business. I think where Simon and Dan and a few of the guys have also been sort of logging on to those, or to assist those users in customizing and tweaking the views as things have moved sort of out of the showroom, albeit perhaps temporarily or in combination with online, just to get that better oversight of what we've got.
Yeah, absolutely, and it obviously from these live shows that we're demonstrating, we're showing new features all the time. Every week we've brought something new to the table. Long that may that continue, but it's also being able to notify our clients or partners with that information as well. So what's the next thing that's available, and just keep going in that vein.
Yeah, great. Good stuff. Okay, well, let's cut back then and have a look at the next thing we're going to dive into. So if I bring you back into your screen, that'd be cool.
Slick. Hopefully it works.
Very good. You're in. Yes, that's perfect.
Yeah, I'm in. Okay, so probably this time I've brought it back, but we'll look at a specific brand. So I'm going to just choose the Land Rovers this time. And then I'm just going to minus the sold, so we can just look at some available vehicles. I'm not going to move anything around on my headers at all. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go up and select this new icon that is called Xray, as we mentioned at the beginning. And then once I select onto that, you can see instantly it comes up with a visual of that data. Straight away, so you can see here where it's counting. Let me just have a look, see if that's pulled that through. So you can see here we've got some. I might just go on top of that again. So it moves. There you go. There you go. It's because I did the search so quick. So you can see there.
Told you you've done lots of these.
Done that a few times, so I know what I'm doing. So you can see here now that a really clear visual representation of the data.
Yeah.
Now again, these are great, and if I hover over the top of them, it gives me that information, so you can see that there. For some reason, I haven't got any I-Paces in here, but you can see here I've got some diesels and some petrols, so they would represent in the same way. And also the vehicle statuses. Now these are manufacturer status, as the Land Rover guys would really recognise, and if it was your brand, I'm sure you would as well. These can be configured as well. We have a number of headers that we can use in Xray, but for this demonstration, we just chose the 4 here. But these can be configured as well. So yeah, really powerful way of doing that.
That's
will you note? Oh, go on. Sorry.
Oh no, I was just going to say so it's come through via our channel actually. But so we've had another question saying, can we? So this is from Sarah in South London, and she says, can she export the data? So can this be exported from these views as well?
Yeah, absolutely. So you can always bring out the data on the far right hand side here with this little tab here. So you can bring it out in whatever format or in a number of formats that you require. So as an Excel document, as a PDF, as a CSV, to extract that straight away. Obviously, was it Sarah?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Yeah. So obviously, Sarah obviously knowing the system or learning the system, you could create automatic data extracts as well that would come straight to her emails. So if she saved that data as a save view, she could select to have that report to her automatically. So taking that data, on a Monday or a Friday.
And I guess it's always a balance around exporting data from SalesMaster and actually using it as the real-time tool. I mean, we see, I suppose you've got to decide how that would benefit you in your role, and which most of the time we want people to we want to provide real-time live inventory, obviously, but if it's a management report, you might want that coming out standardized, perhaps daily or weekly, or end of month or something like that, just to hit your inbox automatically without having to log into the system. But obviously it's not designed really for the more of the search and the stock search. That's all for within the app, but these kind of MI and kind of insights would be standardized scheduled exports.
Absolutely. Cool. Okay. So what I was just going to show you there, this little tab here will actually bring out the data for us as well. So I can simply just click on these and they just keep opening up what data it's looking at from that perspective as well. So, it's actually doing a count for us, like the pivot table when we did the grouping. This is just a far more visual representation of that data. So yeah, a really powerful way of doing it. And the more and more we add to this, the more that you'll be able to do that on all the I think we had a question about from Jamie about grouping on top and being able to drill into that data.
Yeah,
this works in the same way.
Yeah, no, exactly. So, I think using that as a way of filtering and drilling down on your views. I think you were showing one the other day around zooming in on a specific days in stock range or something, or using instead of building the report using Search Builder, you can use this as a way of generating your criteria as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So if we pick on one of these, if we looked at at this stage we're just looking at the Land Rovers that are not sold, so just available Land Rovers really. So just under 1,300 vehicles in there, and we can see the count of where they fall into in which range of days in stock. But if we were to select on the big ones, so 181 days or more age, if I click on that then will just show me those vehicles that are in that list. So there's the 50, exactly as we saw it just there. So we're only looking at the 50 now, and as was requested, how do I add a tag to them? How do I display to all of my team that there's something, there may be a campaign or a certain piece of information that they wanted to display to their teams.
Yeah,
we can do that by using the tagging as well. So
very good. I think that
close down.
Yeah, it's probably not. I don't know. Well, yeah, just go back to your main camera, Howard. It's probably not one of those well-known features, Xray. I think because it was created by. There's a separate sort of function to add Xray to your account. So if you haven't got Xray, let us know either now or through the support channels or your whoever looks after your account. We can apply that, because also those charts can be customized, can't they, as well, to different types across the account. We have to have some consistency across your account as a dealer group or a manufacturer, etc. But we can tailor those to what you're keen to look at.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we can add more and more. I've been doing quite a bit of it this week, so yeah, no, it's there's a lot of different headers that you can use in that data as well. So whatever suits your requirements and your business needs more, we can configure that for you.
That's excellent. I think because most of the time, well, I suppose in an implementation, what would be the normal kind of the normal roles that we'll be training on SalesMaster or sort of implementing? You're going to have the sales execs where it's perhaps more weighted towards the searching, but this kind of stuff, you'd cover this within where would that feature in the kind of in the business typically?
Yeah. So typically with the management team, really of wanting to look on top of the data, wanting to understand, everything that changes within the data. So the sales execs would be, either putting the vehicles under negotiation or, making them available. So as they do those changes, it's key for then the management team to be able to see the activity on them as well.
Yeah.
So they know where, they've always got a clear position of where their stock is at in that period.
Good stuff. Okay, so what have we got next? Are we going to do some more searching?
I was just going to do a quick tag because I've specifically been asked. To do that today. So I just wanted to show the tag. Again, this is based on permissions. So using the box on the far left hand side there at the start of the data. This is where I can select the vehicles. So here I've already drilled down. So the first thing I needed to do was look for the vehicles that I want to add a tag to. So that could be anything. I might say actually I'm just going to add a tag to the white ones. It could be anything. So in this case, we're just going to take all the Land Rovers that are over 181 days, and we're going to push out a message to the teams about these vehicles. So all I do is I can select that. That top one will select the first 30 vehicles. Just as a bit of a safeguard, we don't do all the vehicles in the view, but you can simply do that by selecting. Actually, I want to do something with all 50 of them. So as soon as you select that, it will select all 50, and then that's where your view changes. So you can see here I've now got lots of different icons that I can navigate into, which obviously going away from where we were previously. And no search in there, but you can see here I've got this ability to add a tag to these vehicles. So as soon as I do that, once I select the tag, I can then just add in what I want that tag to be. So in this case, we'll just do Feb offer, like so, and then I can simply just update those vehicles, and it will just pin that tab to those vehicles.
And I think this is one where before it's run as a background task, so you've added 50 there, but if you were adding hundreds, it's kind of not an issue, and just works within the background to add that. It was also the other interesting thing was on that permissions bit that popped up. It said my organisation on that. Just cover that bit off.
Just another quick piece on that. You can add more tags, so you don't have to just have one. You can have as many as you want on the same vehicles, or the same vehicle. But when I go into, so I've just selected 3 here. Also, another feature for everyone is that it's very easy to remove those tags. So if I just want to remove them, I select remove, and I can click on the tag that's allocated to those vehicles, and does the same process. But when I add a tag, as Chris mentioned there, you can say it says who can see this. In this case, I was just doing my organisation, so everybody that's got access to the stock in question would see that tag on there. But if I drop that, I've also got the ability to do that as a data sharing partner as well.
And that's
so if I was sharing.
Sorry to interrupt. Sorry, no, I think that's something that we'll cover next in another video in terms of the stock sharing across accounts, because obviously by default it's within your own organisation.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you were sharing stock and you wanted to be able to share that tag of information on those vehicles, you just select that one and it will just add it to it. It goes in a slightly different colour actually. So I will just just quickly show you everyone that. I know we're going to do a bit more on this another day, but it switches the shade of blue. So you have, there you go.
Got it.
Yeah, it looks great. So you can see Feb offer with the light, with the grey and the blue on top. That's internal, and then the other way around, or the white on top of the blue, is for the external.
So that would allow inside your business, in your own organisation, you could have tags for one use case, but you could also have kind of an external tag shared with others in stock sharing. But as we say, we'll cover that in another session, because there's quite it's quite complexities to stock sharing, but it's because it's a sort of a platform across the industry. We have the ability to share stock into different SalesMaster accounts within your, as you require. So that'll be another interesting one to go into.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I'll come back.
And how can you save that? I suppose the final piece on that would be just to save the list on one of those tags again.
Yeah, so once you're on the data and you can select that data, and you just click on the tab, and it will show everything. So even if I didn't have any of the searching in there at all, as soon as I click on that tag, it will show me all the 50 vehicles that exist in that tag, and then I can simply go straight to the save view, call it whatever I want to. So I'm just going to keep it consistent and call it Feb offers, like so. I'll probably share that with all my team. So Annette and another Howard would get them. I'd simply click on their name and then press save, and they would then receive that save view as well. Or I could click on a certain site. These are just demo sites, but and that would select everyone on that as well. And then as soon as I save it, I can then simply do as I would with my save views. I can run it to have a look at it, edit it, slightly change it, pin it as a tab onto my main screen. I probably wouldn't set this one as default. That happens sometimes by accident. Or I could, of course, I would probably actually schedule an email as well. So, I would want to know how we're doing on that Feb offer, Q1 offer, whatever the case may be. And I want to take that every Friday, every Monday, Wednesday morning.
Got it.
Forth, to pick up that data. So, yeah.
That's really good.
I'm just going to pin it as a tab. There you go.
So we've had another question from this time Simon from Cardiff wants to know: can you search for tags in the search bar? So how can you find previously created tags?
Yeah, you can if you start to type in. So there you go. So as soon as I start typing in anything, you can see here it records them in the search as well.
Yeah.
And then you can just select onto them, and it just takes you straight to that tag you've created. Yeah, so you can see we've been playing around a bit on this one. But yeah, lots of tags that feature in there, but very, very clear to see on top of the vehicle description in whatever you're looking at. So I'm back to my main screen now. I've got just under 14,000, and I can see vehicles that have been tagged into these offers anytime.
And I guess then using the save views with the pinning to tabs, like you've got there grouping on top of brand and Feb offers. If you had multiple offers, you could just pin different save views of each of those offers. Yeah,
absolutely. So yeah, you see lots of really involved users of the system that have great tabs running across the top that rather than outside of SalesMaster of running reports that can take time and hours in some cases every morning, you can just create these tabs, and they just do it, and let the system do the job for you. Let them do that work and show you the data. And then your focus vehicles, you can just select, right, this is what we're going to push out to the guys, the team today.
Yeah, definitely. And I think for people that are on, which most people are, I think, on kind of full StockBook rather than just the StockBook One product, the benefit, of course, of that is you can have all of your stock types in one view. So, but if you wanted to see an offer that was about used cars, you could have that on a tab. But if you want to have a new tactical offer on next to it on a separate tab, you can do that as well. So instead of having to go off to a view on a dealer management system report or an Excel spreadsheet or a factory system and log into different things, you're giving one view for your sales team to see all of those different stock types and offers that you want to promote internally.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
brilliant.
Great way of broadcasting.
Yeah. No, it's and again with the saved views and the scheduling of those saved views, I guess that prompt that says how many have you got left, like you referred to, if you're doing a campaign particularly and you've added those 50 cars, starts off they're all available, but as they're being sold through, you're going to then get a report down of how many you've got left. I guess you could probably use grouping as well as tags as well. Is that something you can do? So like on your tagged view, you could group by site, for instance, if you wanted to keep track of what stock was in each site.
Yeah, absolutely. So sticking with the Feb offer that we created, if I then group by the site, like say you would then capture all of that information as a grouped account as well. That's giving you all the data. So who's doing the best on the Feb offer.
And if that just to clarify the difference for anybody, because it's just the sites in terminology, I suppose and also the difference between a stocking site and a selling site. So that's showing me a list of how the stock is distributed between those through Land Rover sites. But are you able to show a list of who sold the stock on those sites? Is that something we can do?
Yeah, you can. So whenever I create them for that purpose, so as vehicles are sold, they're captured in SalesMaster. So automatically you think, right, okay, well I want to see what was sold from a site. So you automatically look for date sold or whatever the case may be of when it was brought through. But we have sold by site. So actually you're more interested in which site sold it as opposed to which site owns the vehicle when you're cross-selling from multiple sites. So this is a way of grabbing that information as well. That's also available as a header in Column Chooser. So you can bring that in. So if you were looking at just sold vehicles on a particular period, you could bring in the site and you could bring in where the vehicle originated from or lives, and then you could bring in sold by site of which site sold it, which is great.
I suppose that another really important way of showing I suppose evidence to show that actually you're selling vehicles that are from different sites and how that improves the conversion of your own stock across the group, because presumably without that kind of visibility you're only selling from the site that you're operating out of, whereas this is going to give some visibility of multi-site stocking that's being sold across the whole sales team, so all stock being sold across all salespeople.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the real key feature for SalesMaster to have. When you first turn on the system into any group, really, you suddenly see that influx of selling across multiple sites. Within that, because the visibility, it's just emphasized to everyone of what's out there, what's coming through on pipeline, of course, as well, rather than just what's on site. So
brilliant. Thanks for that again, Howard. That's great. If you want to switch back,
no problem.
It would be good to just to perhaps chat through before we wrap up. We've concentrated on sort of 3 topics there, but we have started to touch on a few other parts of the system which are perhaps would be created in other content for next week and other future shows. But in terms of sold vehicles, the other one I didn't mention there, but would be keen to sort of learn a bit more about, was the use of under negotiation in that regard as well. So that's probably one for us to look at next time.
Yeah, to keeping the stock in real time. Yeah, absolutely. Especially if even if you are just seeing it from your own internal use, but it can be really useful when you're sharing stock to either your media partners or different channels. When a vehicle goes under negotiation, then it's locked for that individual.
And that's something I know the product team are doing quite a bit of work, in that sort of omni-channel space to say, okay, we've got this method of sharing stock out. We've also got the master inventory platform in the business. How do those two pieces join together as we're now offering this kind of digital consumer and still the showroom customer, and how that joins together. So keeping things in sync with an under negotiation status and sort of two-way integration is going to be, I suppose, critical to deliver that digital retailing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's very much a key feature. So we should definitely touch on that in one of our future streams.
Definitely. Sounds good. Okay, well, I think it's probably time to wrap up now. It's been great to present to you all again today, a bit later than normal. So again, just let us know on the timings and what works. Don't forget to subscribe, like the video. We'd really like to sort of start increasing the engagement on this, as we've said before. So give us a thumbs up, and also don't forget to forward some topics and ideas. You don't need to just put it in the chat live when we're doing the stream. Send us an email, or you can interact on the platform and just get in touch with us via support or via the account team. So just come up with some content for us. That'd be really good on what you'd like to see. We'd be keen to run some more of these. So thank you, Jamie. So thanks, gents. Very informative. So appreciate that. The email address, thanks Annette, is join-in@salesmaster.co.uk. So perhaps if you put that in the chat, Annette, that'd be good. I could put it on the screen just so everyone's got that. But if you want to send through some ideas or content, or just to tell us about the live stream, then just let us know. Ben would definitely like to see more on that in future streams. So okay, well we'll do some more on that then, Ben. Absolutely. Good stuff. Well, thanks ever so much for joining us this afternoon. I hope you have great weekends. Look forward to seeing you next week, and stay safe out there, and we'll see you all again soon. Thank you. Cheers.